Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah. That reaction. It's Thursday. Yeah. Yes, it is. It is Thursday because it's not quite Friday yet. Oh, we're so ever so close. Oh boy, it's almost there. Just keep hanging on to every last strain of sanity you have. It's been a big day.
Yeah,
it's been a big past 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's been good. The sports world is popping, and thank God it's we have sports. Because everything else is kind of just a disaster at this point. But you're here. You're hanging out on and off the field with Durf and Dylan, this award-winning podcast on and off the field with Durf and Dylan. Thank you for joining us. I just how has your Thursday been? Or maybe your Wednesday? Just an overall feeling. How are you doing?
It's been pretty productive. Been getting stuff done, but yeah, just ready for the weekend.
Yeah, maybe we get to golf this weekend. We'll see.
Maybe, yeah.
We might be taking the baby apple picking on Sunday.
Oh, nice.
Maybe. We'll see. Because I go apple picking. I love apple picking. I'm one of those suckers that'll go spend $40 on a bag of apples just for the aesthetics. Just to get out there and do it.
There you go.
It's a lot of fun, though. Those apples are usually better. You can't deny that a good, fresh, picked off the tree apple, nice, thick Macintosh is not one of the best apples you ever eat in your life.
Yeah.
Just a personal preference. No.
There you go.
Do you do apple picking? Is that a thing? You kind of avoid that.
I haven't done that in ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe you should come with us.
Maybe.
It's just for the aesthetics. It's just a nice time. It's not like a thrill ride. You're not going to be like, oh my gosh, we're apple picking. You just go, you pick some apples. It's like a 20, 30-minute event. It's a good time. And you get to eat some apple. You pick your first apple and you eat that one while you pick the rest of the apples that you're actually going to take home. Yeah.
There you go.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
So, like we've already said, you're here with us. Thank you very much for tuning in, whether you're live on Facebook with us or YouTube or anything else that you maybe followed, liked, subscribed, or shared, anything like that. We love you and we appreciate it all. And just in case this is your first time around, Durf can give you all the information of how to follow, like, subscribe, and share.
Oh, yeah. So make sure to follow, like, and share on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at On and Off the Field Podcast. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, where we are currently live right now, and you can catch up on all of our latest episodes. Make sure to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts so that we know how we're doing and what you like or dislike about the show. And you can find all of these links at onandoffthefield.com, along with our fundraising efforts, our Superfly merchandise, and to learn more about Dylan, myself, and this award-winning show.
Do you see what I did there? I just saw this. I don't know why this was something that just came in my brain. This is how my brain works. It's really stupid. It's follow, like, observe, subscribe, and share. So now we can tell our listeners, make sure you floss. That's the acronym. It's amazing.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's really cool.
That is really cool.
And I just randomly thought of that. So make sure you floss.
Yeah.
God, that's so stupid, but I'm so proud of it at the same time. Oh, Lord. Maybe I'll come up with a better O. Observe. It's kind of a weird O. It's the first O word that came into my brain.
Yeah.
So, boy. So it's Thursday. There's not really. It's hard to do a big update for the Fantasy Football League for on and out the field on a Thursday. But the biggest news is if you have a Titan or a Steelers player on your fantasy football team, it's gonna hurt for you. I'm good. I'm good. because my philosophy at the beginning of this season was I'm not taking any Steelers players. I was forced to take one down the road. I had to take James Conner at one point, who's been hit or miss. He's okay.
Yeah.
But I can't play James Conner this weekend, obviously. So my backup for him, Kenny Galladay, baby.
Yeah.
Went from an RB1 to a wide receiver 1. I'm good because I put him in my flex. So
nice.
I'm good to go. Like, are you okay? Are you okay with that?
I think I'm okay.
Did you have Gostkowski on one of your teams though?
I did not.
Oh, okay. You're just a big fan of Gostkowski.
Well, I hear things.
I hear things. Yeah, we had that conversation today offline. It's not good when the long snapper gets COVID.
No.
The kicker and long snapper are usually in the same room most of the time. So
yeah.
A couple of more people tested positive, but we'll get to that in a little bit later. But first and foremost, as always, it's the other sport. Didn't take Doc Rivers a long time to find a job.
No, not at all.
That took like 10 seconds.
Didn't know that the team he signed with was looking for a head coach.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah, I knew that at least. Yeah, that was, what was his name? Started with a B. It was like Brian, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that 76ers coach. He got let go pretty fast. As soon as the 76ers got bounced out of the bubble, he was gone too. God, what was his name? That's going to bother me. That's okay. Doc Rivers, head coach of the 76ers now on a 5-year deal. You know, God, I wish I knew more about the NBA, but I at least know a little bit about the 76ers. And all the 76ers fans, you know, they did the team did a lot of tanking, and they ended up with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons as the fruit of their labors. And a lot of people are saying at least one has to go. Yeah, or maybe they both go and we just start over. So they could go anywhere with this team, but now you bring in Doc. Do you really need to change anything now? You bring in this new superstar head coach. He was with the Clippers, and they couldn't do much, but still. He was obviously better whoever they had before. Do you think he could figure out how to work with both of those guys still on the team? Or do you think that he comes in here and just kind of says, I don't want neither of you, or I don't want one of you, and he makes his own team. He starts over.
I think he makes it work. I don't think he's going to be like, off with you. But I think he's not going to take any of their flack. That's been the 76ers issue. They look good on paper. They kind of play to how they look on paper. But when it comes down to crunch time, they fall flat on their faces. So, I mean, Doc Rivers he's a decent head coach for the NBA. Maybe he can turn him around, but he's coming back east, so he better watch out.
Yeah, I think as long as Doc Rivers is still wanting to coach, he's going to be a head coach. That's kind of just where he is. Yeah, he's supplanted himself in the league as a head coach, and I'll be interested to see what he does with this team. I would agree that he doesn't blow it up. He comes in here. And at least for a season, bare minimum for a season, he sees what he's got with these players. Because that's hard to do. You just walk in and you say, those 2 first-round draft picks that you guys took for tanking, be gone with you. Yeah. I don't think that's the scenario. He
coached the Celtics when they had the big 3 there 10 years ago.
He was with the Celtics back then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he won the 2008 finals with the Celtics.
Ooh.
That was back with Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen. Rajon Rondo was like a young star then.
Yeah, he was in the finals back then, and he wasn't laboring.
Yeah,
he looks pretty good with the Lakers. He comes in there and he does his job. But he's got a hairdo that's a little weird. He's got a weird.
Oh yeah,
got a little mushroom head. It's like a mini afro. I don't know. It looks someone took a picture of it and put it on Facebook. It looks weird.
Oh.
That bubble barber did him dirty. Speaking of the Lakers, they did win the first game in obliterating fashion. I mean, they just from what I didn't watch it. From what I understand, it got a little close in there, and then they Jamison Crowder. I think it's Jamison Crowder.
Yeah.
No, that's the NFL player. I know his name is Crowder.
It's James Crowder, I think. It's not.
Oh, just James.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with James Crowder then. He started beating up on LeBron before halftime. They decided to play the bully role, and he just started following him, pushing him, just got in his face all over the place. And then they came out in the second half, and they were mad. The Lakers were mad, and they ended up going on a 53-20 run. It was just it was disgusting. So, but in the process, the Heat also got a lot of injuries. Jimmy Butler got a little banged up, and then Gordon Dragic and Bam Adebayo, they're both questionable just to move forward.
Wow.
Yeah. I know Dragic is a little bit on the less injured side, but Bam is looking like he might not even be able to play the rest of the series.
Oh, that's not good.
So I am, after seeing what they did to the Heat, and now they lost two big pieces of this offense. I mean, those aren't just players we'll replace them. Those are cornerstone pieces for the Heat. Lakers in 4 is definitely not out of the question.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the fact that they had that much control in game 1, they're probably not going to let up.
I don't think LeBron's going to let his team let up. And that's just his mentality he's got.
Yeah, he's going to shove it down their throats and win the championship.
I guarantee that locker room conversation had some people celebrating. LeBron was just like, what? Why are you celebrating? He's like, shut up. 3 more games. Let's go. Guarantee that's what that conversation was like. So, game 2 is Friday. I'm putting my money on Lakers in 4 unless some miracle happens. But I think I've said this a million times. The only way the Heat or the Nuggets or anyone they've played get a win is when the Lakers play bad. If LeBron and AD don't turn that switch on, then the Heat could steal a game. But I don't think that's going to happen here in the finals.
Right.
Let's see. Major League Baseball real quick. The Astros, the Yankees, the Rays, and the Braves have closed out their series, their best of 3. So they won 2 games.
Yep.
It's just so weird. So they're all moving on. They're good to go. And I think we have the Athletics and the White Sox right now. One of them's going.
Yeah.
The Athletics and the White Sox right now. Yeah, top of the 9th. And the A's are up 6-4 on the White Sox. And the series is tied 1-1. So whoever wins this is moving forward.
Nice.
Interesting. The Cardinals are playing the Padres, and the Cardinals lead that series 1-0. The Marlins and Cubs game is actually postponed. I do not know why, but Miami leads that 1-0. And then the Dodgers are leading the Brewers 1-0. And they play later tonight.
Very nice.
So, yeah, I think the stat of the day was the Twins have now lost 18 consecutive playoff games. That's not good.
That's no bueno.
Yeah, the Twins played the Astros, and 18 the Twins were going to be a force to be reckoned with. That's a good team. Great pitching, slugging offense. Bounced in 2 by the Astros. Ouch. And then the Braves won their first playoff series since 2001. So the complete opposite.
Yeah.
The Braves ended their losing streak, and the Twins just keep theirs going. So kind of sucks, but good for the Braves. Shove it in their face a little bit. Why don't you? I haven't watched a single one of these baseball games.
Me neither.
I tuned in for the beginning of the Astros and Twins first game just because I was with the baby and just decided to turn ESPN on and see what we had.
Yeah.
But I watched maybe like an inning and a half, and I was like, all right, I'm good. This is what gets me with baseball. There was one point in that baseball game where there was a guy on second for the Astros, and the Twins were pitching, and the pitcher, no, I think it was the other way around, because it was the guy who used to pitch for the Dodgers, I think, Greinke. Greinke was on the mound, and he's a super slow pitcher. Like his wind up and everything, just like it just takes forever. He was on the mound. There's a guy on second, and he took at least twice to look back at the guy on second, and then he gets up there and gets ready to pitch. Then he calls timeout. He like takes a step back. He's like, all right, take time. All right. And then he gets up there again. He's getting ready to pitch. And he takes another step back. He did it twice. He took 2 steps back. Like takes a little timeout. Takes a step back. All right, let's take another. All right, he gets up ready there to pitch. And the batter takes a timeout. He puts his hand up and he steps out of the box. It's like, this is why I can't watch baseball.
Oh.
This is why the sport is dying. It took like 5 minutes to pitch one ball. I know there's a strategy to it all, and you got to, like, if you're not ready, step out of the box. I get it, but my God, you got to limit it.
Yeah.
That's why
it should be the umpire. And all right, let's get going. Like,
yeah. Wasn't there like a thing where there was a pitch clock? I thought that was a thing that we were doing now, unless they took it away.
I didn't know anything about that.
I thought they talked about that. Like, I thought that's something they implemented like 4 or 5 years ago. Well, but apparently not.
If Rob Manfred wants to be the commissioner still, he should probably reinforce that.
Well, is he really the commissioner though?
No, he's just a figure. He's just there.
Yeah, he's there. He's collecting the paycheck. What a bum. That's all we got for other sports. Here's your update. We're gonna be like, other sports is gonna be dead here pretty soon. I mean,
yeah,
baseball's almost over.
I think baseball's supposed to end of October, and
then NBA will be over really soon, like next week,
like
probably
3 games. Yeah,
yeah. So it's gonna be a lot of NFL news coming down the pipe. Other sports will be dead. XFL though, that's coming back in 2022.
Yeah.
That's exciting news. That's not really on the docket to talk about, but I just thought I'd bring it up.
Yeah, definitely.
They came out with a new video today. You see the video?
Nice. I have not seen the video, but
it was so good.
Yeah.
It was like The Rock and then whoever the woman is that owns the league with him. They did like a commentary thing of the XFL. It was like this really dramatic thing building up to, it was such a good video. I shared it on our Instagram story. So if anyone watching or listening wants to see that video and hasn't seen it yet, you can go down off the field or at OOTF podcast on Instagram. You can watch our story. NFL news. There's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
It's the title of the episode. Steelers and Titans have postponed their match after 11 total Titans have tested positive. It used to be 8. And then they did some more testing, and it got bumped all the way up to 11 between players and staff. Most likely, this game is going to be played in week 7. The Steelers and the Ravens will basically swap bye weeks. And, it's not swap per se, but it'll be like the Steelers will play on their bye week when the Ravens were supposed to, and then the Ravens will play like in week 8 where theirs was. Something weird. I'd have to like sit down and draw it out.
Yeah, because I know the Titans have a week 7 bye, and then the Steelers are week 8, so they're just off by a week. So
right,
yeah, one of them's got to give a little bit here. I would think you would make the Titans move their bye week because they're the team that is infected and causing this game to be postponed. Right. Like, shame on them.
Yeah,
but yeah, so they might have to swap with the Ravens and just play week 7 and then just be off week 8.
Yeah, I had a guy tell me on Instagram, they were like, well, this isn't fair. Now they're going to get 2 bye weeks. No. No, that's not how this works.
No, this is their bye week.
Yeah, this is now their bye week. Right. I say no. Not quite. But speaking of Instagram, twice now, we're almost to 1,000 followers. We're like 5 away.
On Instagram?
Yeah.
Wow.
So here's your call to action, folks. Go follow us on Instagram real quick. If you just search anywhere, you search Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any podcast website, and you search for On and Off the Field, ours is the only one you're going to find. Like, there's nothing else. There's no other podcast. There's nothing else called On and Off the Field. It's just us. That's how unique we are, because we're awesome.
Yeah. Oh. If you need any help, look for that little logo on the top of our screen there.
Yeah, we even put it there just for you. Yeah. Really cool symbol there with little headphones for the O's. It's real nifty.
Yeah.
But yeah. And the Vikings and the Texans are going to play as normal because the Titans played the Vikings, so there was some concern there.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to continue. The bus driver for the Titans and Astros tested positive. Really?
Yep, that came out today as well. So, yeah, could have been the bus driver here. So look out for the Astros to start testing positive.
Well, they just got done winning their series with the Twins. So the Twins they don't got to worry about. But the Astros are inside the bubble right now. They're inside the bubble that is the Major League bubble. There's some concern there with how much of a bubble it really is.
Yeah.
But interesting. I did not know that. Where'd you read that? My goodness.
That was just on NFL.com before I was getting ready for the show.
It's just always always something so weird like that.
Mm-hmm.
The bus driver. Like, you would never think. You would just, the bus driver is just a person. They're just there. But that's probably the person that started it. Crazy.
Could be.
That's crazy. The Ravens and their star corner, Marlon Humphrey, agreed to a 5-year extension worth $97.5 million per year. Not per year. 5-year extension worth $97.5 million total, with $66 million in total guarantees. It's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
I don't know if he's a star. Marlon Humphrey's a very good corner. I don't know if this makes him the second highest paid corner. I know that for a fact. I think he's right behind Ramsey still. Right.
I mean, that's pretty impressive money to be laying down for a corner right now.
Yeah.
For the Ravens, because they only have another year or so, and then Lamar Jackson is going to have to be paid if they want to keep him.
I was just going to ask you that. Do they pay Lamar Jackson? Is a big question.
I wouldn't, but the Ravens will.
I mean, he's a regular season star. Mike Fink in the house. See what he's got to say. He always comes in here with a fun question. NFL games this week. My matchup of the week is Tyrone Smith versus Myles Garrett, one of the best pass rushers against a future Hall of Fame offensive lineman. Does Myles Garrett get to Dak and Zeke and disrupt the game? Oh boy. Let me give you this. Let me give you this little piece of fun information. Alton Robinson just called up from the practice squad for the Seahawks. Rookie out of the 5th round from Syracuse, defensive end. He ended up sacking Dak Prescott late in the 4th quarter on their trying to get the lead drive for the Cowboys. He sacks Dak Prescott. And if I am not mistaken, he got that sack against Tyrone Smith. So, do I think Tyrone Smith wins against Myles Garrett? I'd say for the majority of the day, yes. And I'm sure they'll double team Garrett at a lot of points as well.
Right.
But if they get into a scenario late in the game and it's 1-on-1, I would say Myles Garrett can disrupt late in the game. I don't know if he's going to be a constant throughout the game, but if I think in the 4th quarter, Tyrone's getting a little older. He's not, I don't think he's a young gun as he used to be. I don't know how old he is, but
yeah,
I think Myles Garrett can make an impact at some point in the game. I don't think he's going to be a factor for the entire game, but I think he'll get one big stop in there for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. I think, Yeah, they're going to focus on Myles Garrett probably for the most part of the game. But if the Cowboys are down and they have to start spreading things out and it's that one-on-one situation, I think Garrett gets in the backfield and disrupts them a little bit more.
Yeah, because that's what they're doing with the Cowboys. And that's when Alton Robinson got through. You got like 4 wide. Zeke is even split out somewhere. So you got like 5 wide receivers. Well, like 3, 2, and 1 with a tight end.
Right.
Yeah, and that's when Myles will find his moment to do something. So, yes, I think he'll disrupt it, but look for it to happen in the fourth quarter. I wouldn't expect him in the first 3 quarters to be a monster because he'll be focused. This is a fun little thing. Adam Gase's job doesn't rely on the outcome of tonight's game. According to those informed on the decision-making process, the thinking is that firing Gase would not only be counterproductive, but also potentially damaging to quarterback Sam Darnold.
That's a lot of hoopla.
I think Adam Gase is the reason Sam Darnold is damaged currently.
Yeah.
This was your piece of news you threw in here.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense to me. This just seems like a bunch of trash that someone spewed out. I don't know where this is coming from.
I mean, pretty much. I mean, I saw it before the show, and I had seen it as like a notification on my phone earlier today, and I was like, really? That's the piece of news they're gonna bring up before the game tonight? But I feel like this is one of those situations where people say it doesn't rely on the outcome of the game, and then the outcome of the game doesn't go their way, and then by Monday you're hearing Adam Gase is fired. But I also think that you could say this is potentially damaging Sam Darnold, but everyone still thinks of Sam Darnold's potential. He's in year 3. He was supposedly the most NFL-ready quarterback in the 2018 draft, and it's not panning out. You could blame the coaches. He's had coaches in and out a couple years now since he's been in the league. But a good talent quarterback can usually work through that. So maybe he's damaged because he's not that good.
Yeah, Sam Darnold's kind of an enigma right now. Strikeout beer in the house as usual. And just so they know, I just bought this before the show. It's Saranac beer. It's from it's local Saranac, I believe. It's somewhere around here in New York.
Oh yeah.
It's a variety pack of October beers. This is a festival Pilsner. Just finished it. I'm too lazy to go grab more. So this is a good beer, though. I'm not a Pilsner fan usually.
Yeah.
It's usually like too light, like not enough flavor. It's just like eh. This was packed. This was a really good Pilsner.
Nice.
So highly recommended if you have Saranac beer in your area. I would go find their new pack they just threw out here. Beer. Whoever's running Strikeout Beer over there loves Pilsners personally. Sam Darnold has potential. Josh Allen had potential, and the show's now same with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, I just God, he just upsets me so much. Like because you'll have an MVP year like last year, and you'll have those games where he throws 5 touchdown passes like just to the tight ends, and it's like okay, cool. But then you go against the Chiefs, and you throw 97 passing yards. That raises a lot of flags.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even run the ball. I don't know how many rushing yards he had, but it was not a lot. He had a couple of breakaway runs, but it was nothing impressive.
Right, and it was the Chiefs' defense. Like, the Chiefs' defense, they're not elite.
They're not elite, but I think they've gotten better at least.
They have gotten a little better, yes, but their not.
Their pass rush is very good, but their secondary and their linebackers a little sketchy. But their pass rush isn't bad. I'll give them that. But I think that's where Lamar has problems. As soon as he has pass rushers in his face, if they bring 5-6 blitzers, he's screwed. because he's just looking for a way out. And if they contain, which the Chiefs did, then he's just a panicking mess, and he has no idea what to do. But like you were going back to Sam Darnold, like going off the rails here all over the place. Because Strikeout Beer came in here and distracted me, which is fine. He says if you find a good one, oh boy, but it is Rapid Dave, of course. You go Rapid Dave Streams over there, one of the best, my favorite streamers. He plays pretty much all Fortnite. It's a lot of fun. I've never played Fortnite, but he makes it look fun. And also Strikeout Beer, of course. Good show, good streams. Sam Darnold, I understand why people think he still has a higher ceiling. It's the Jets. He's never had a good coach. He's never had a good offensive line. He's never had a run game. And his best wide receiver in his tenure was Robbie Anderson, which is really not saying that much.
Right.
He's had a decent defense at times, but still nothing that you'd be like, oh, wow, the Jets defense is like, whew.
Yeah.
I could understand why people would say he has a higher ceiling than we've seen. I understand that. But it's just a matter of how long it's going to take. Because if he stays with the Jets, how many more years of his career is it going to take to get a good team around him? And then by then it's probably too late.
Right.
And then he's going to be looking to get paid.
Yep.
How much are you going to pay him, but still be able to build a good team around him? There's a lot of question marks. I think the only way that we see if Sam Darnold reaches potential is if he goes to another team.
But yeah, probably not a bad idea. He's probably going to have to jump ship. I mean, it's going to look weird for our first-round pick in that year, but there's another quarterback that's been bounced around from that year, too, being a first-round pick. So it's not out of the ordinary. I will give you one more example as to why I think Sam Darnold's probably done. He's probably he's lost his potential. He's very damaged. So I was watching the Colts-Jets game from last weekend. Don't ask me why. I just stumbled across it. And I saw a play where the Jets defense or the Colts defense just kind of like blew up the Jets offensive line and couldn't tell you a name. The fact of the play is they're going after Darnold. What does Darnold do? Instead, he runs backwards and tries to run farther back and then to run around. It doesn't work. Like, you have to try to avoid the defender. You can't just try to outrun them. Like, they're going to. So he took like a 12-yard sack. Like,
unless you're like Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray, you're probably not going to make that play happen.
And that's where I feel like that's not coaching. I feel like that's fundamentals of being a quarterback. You're just not good.
Yeah, limit your damage. Like, honestly, if there's no way of getting out of it, just lay down and take the 5. Like, that was Eli Manning. People make a lot of fun of Eli Manning because he used to just lay down and take sacks. That's because he knew he wasn't athletic.
Right.
You know, he's not going to take that 10 million step drop back for a 12-yard loss. He's going to be like, the pressure got through the offensive line. I have no play here. Lays down 2-3-yard loss instead of a 12-yard loss.
Right.
And people made fun of Eli for that. And, you know, it's called limiting the damage. And I think he did a very good job of that back when he was still in the league. One more piece of NFL news here before we get to the week 4 preparations. And honestly, me and Durf pretty much agree on every single game, which usually doesn't pan out for actual, like, that's why our record is so similar and so bad. It's because we normally pick the same people. I even tried to be a little brave, and I wanted to pick the underdog or another team on some of these games, but I couldn't. Like, I would rather get it right than try and be bold. Because last week I tried to be bold, and that did not pan out.
Yeah.
But real quick, the week 2, we're supposed to do this on Tuesday, but we're doing it now. NFLPA Community MVP, your off the field news for week 2. Safety Rodney McLeod. I think it's McLeod for the Eagles. He provided 2,000 bags, which is 40,000 pounds of fresh food, and it was delivered to the local Share Food program. And during the event of sharing said food, he provided voter registration on site for the families. So not only did he provide food, this important election time, making sure everyone's registered as well, which is just very important these days. But as you know, on and off the field, let's take it a step further because that's how we roll. Nope, not that. Those are our notes. This is RodneyMcLeod23.com. He's talking. I don't know what he's saying. This is just his website. Very good website. You know, I've said it before in the past. Some websites for these athletes are not very good. His is very good. But this is a main thing that he works on is the AACR, which is the American Association for Cancer Research. He works with them a lot. That's what a lot of his fundraising goes for. He's doing it's down here a little bit. I think I'm just missing it. For every interception, forced fumble, sack, or tackle for a loss that Rodney gets this season, he donates $1,000 to the American Association for Cancer Research. And from my understanding, he's done a lot of work with the AACR in the past. So very good for him. Obviously, we want to learn more about cancer, try and eradicate the ugliness that is cancer. This is a great website. Yeah. You can learn a lot on here. He's doing a Halloween bowling bash. I kind of want to go. You want to go to PA this? You want to go to PA Monday 10/28?
All right.
Sounds like fun. I don't see why not.
Sure. Road trip.
Hey, I got to take this week off of work. Why? I'm going to go bowling with Rodney McLeod.
And they'll say
just
who?
Make a whole thing out of it. Yeah, he'll say. The only reason I know who he is because I'm like I used to be a fan of the Eagles back in the day, and I kind of just follow them these days, so I know who it is.
Right.
Good bio in here for him. He has some gear on here, but yeah, it's a really great website. You can
nice.
Has events on here, media, news, all kinds of things. So I would encourage everybody to go to RodneyMcLeod23.com and just learn about him and what he does. It would be behoove of you to do so. So there we go. Off the field news of the week. We'll be back Tuesday with the Week 3 MVP. All right. This is it. Week 4 picks.
Yeah.
Oh. You ready? Getting loosened up? We took a lot of time on those first segments. We agree on so many of these.
I think there's only one game we don't agree on.
Yeah. And it's really not even that big a deal. I mean,
no.
It's like the game isn't that important.
Right.
First on the docket is tonight's game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the Broncos at the Jets, and I picked the Broncos to win, and the fans of the NFL are all losers. Why on God's green earth is this a primetime game? I feel like this happens with Thursday Night Football constantly, though.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it happens with Thursday Night Football and Monday Night Football because of hype.
Like, what's the hype? What was even the hype here, though? I mean, the Broncos had this young, exciting offense, but what was there for the Jets? No one wants to watch the Jets in primetime. They don't deserve a primetime spot. Like, if you're playing the Jets that week, don't put it on the docket. Like, they don't. I don't know if there's a rule that like every team has to be in primetime football. That's why they created Thursday Night Football. Because that's what it feels like. Yeah. So they put the crappy teams on Thursday Night Football, like the Jets. Oh, the Jets have to get their primetime game in here. Oh, let's throw them on Thursday. That's what it feels like. Last week was terrible. Like, there hasn't been a good Thursday Night Football game yet.
Not since the opener.
God, it just hurts my feelings. Because now I want to watch it, but I just know it's going to be a waste of my time. That's just the sad reality.
Probably.
But we didn't even talk anything about the actual game. Who do you have winning?
I mean, I have the Broncos. I mean, it's salt in one hand and lemons in another hand. Like, what are you doing here? Like, they're not mixing.
Which one are you putting in your eyes?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, the Jets are just garbage, and the Broncos are on their third quarterback now for the season with their decimated roster with injuries, but I think the Broncos probably still get it done.
Yeah, I think the Broncos at least still have a remnants of an offense, and they still have a couple of good defensive pieces, especially a pass. Even without Von Miller, they still have a decent pass rush. And that's all you need to get Sam Darnold frazzled and that offense ruined. So,
yep.
Well, I did hear for the Jets, they got this new spunky running back. I don't know if you ever heard of him, Frank Gore. He'll be starting at running back this week. Real spry young dude. Oh wait. Oh, this Justin Frank Gore is a dinosaur. Never mind, I had that wrong.
I think I picked him up in one of my leagues for fun.
Just for fun, just so you had him.
Yeah.
Fun fact from Mike Fink: both the Broncos and Jets started out last season 0-4. This is all worth noting for tonight's game. This is all worth noting.
So one of them's not starting 0-4 this year.
Yeah, which one? Which one? Hey, well, you can't even say which one's not is going to get in the win column, because that's what we said last week about the Eagles and Bengals. Which one's going to get in the win column? Nobody got in the win column because of a tie. If this game ends in a tie, I will. I'll actually start a petition for the NFL to change the rules. So first on the docket for Sunday, and the only game that we disagree with, the Colts at the Bears. So I'll let you defend your pick first. I'll let you go first.
The Colts might be terrible, but I think they're good enough to beat the Bears. I think the offense has a little bit of a roll right now. I mean, just from recapping, watching that Jets and Colts game earlier in the week, they have this young tight end who took over for Jack Doyle, who's been kind of on a roll here. Phillip Rivers, he's old, and he's like starting to get into the record books there for certain things, so it's time for him to go. But he's still doing enough to keep this offense moving. I think Jonathan Taylor is probably going to have another good day of running the ball. I think what the Falcons couldn't do, the Colts will do, and that'll be if they get a lead, they're going to hold the Bears off.
Yeah, I think the Colts have a better defense than the Falcons, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm taking the Bears, the BDN-led Bears. As soon as he came in the game last week, that team had a spark. It's almost like that team wanted Nick Foles to start from the beginning, because as soon as he came into the game, there was an energy. Yeah. He was putting the balls in the hands of the receivers. David Montgomery got rolling. God, it just feels so weird. But the Bears just feel like they have momentum right now. The defense still has some solid pieces on it. I don't think it's a complete defense, but they have some pieces.
Mm-hmm.
And you know my feelings on the Colts. They had a great week last week, but I mean, everything. I mean, when you play the Jets, everything you do is like exemplified, like brought up a level. So they have a good defense, they have a good offense, but when you play the Jets, they have a great offense and a great defense. It's like, okay, let's wait until they play another team before we start calling them great. But yeah, I'm taking the Bears though. I just like what I saw last week. The Jaguars at the Bengals, and from what I can tell, it seems like Joe Burrow is going to get his first win of the season.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, that was a rough week last week for Gardner Minshew. And he could get back this week.
He could.
This was the one where I first put down the Jaguars, and then I thought about it for an extra second. I was like, I really like what I've been seeing out of Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
And the only time Joe can't really get going is when he's getting pressured because their offensive line is awful. I don't think the Jaguars are going to generate enough pressure to get Joe Burrow frazzled. So I think this is that first game we get to see Joe Burrow just kind of drop back, throw the ball, and just look like the quarterback that deserved to be the first overall pick in the draft.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you here. I flip-flopped when I was making these picks earlier, and it didn't look to see if DJ Chark is back in the lineup for the Jaguars, and I think that was the very big puzzle piece missing out of the Jaguars lineup on last Thursday.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew, I think he needs them in order to be any kind of good. I think James Robinson might still have a pretty decent day against Cincinnati's defense, But I think this is where Joe Burrow actually can get comfortable with the offense and have get his first win and have a lot better day.
Yeah, DJ Chark is back at practice starting yesterday, but in a limited role.
So if anything, he's limited for the weekend. He probably won't be full go.
Probably not. I'm sure he'll play, but not full go.
Yeah.
Tony, the other half of Strikeout Beer. What's good, bruh? I was talking to Rapid Dave. This is the beer of choice for the night. Just bought it from Saranac Beer, Festival Pilsner, a very good Pilsner. Very impressed with it. So welcome to the show. Thanks for tuning in. You're not too late this time. Tuned in on time this week. So, we got the Bengals going this week. I just like what I see. The Browns at the Cowboys. I jumped on the Browns really fast for this one.
Yeah.
And then I kind of I took a step back. Because the Browns are trying to fool me here. They've had 2 very good weeks on the ground running the ball. Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt look great. Dak Prescott has been looking very good. Baker Mayfield's been looking pretty good. Say pretty good. There was one pass where Odell Beckham Jr. literally had to play defensive back and bat the ball out of the defensive back's hands. It was not a good pass. Besides that, the Browns have been looking good, but take into account their opponents, I had to step back and be like, okay, I'm going to, just out of, general NFL knowledge, I just have to pick the Cowboys. I just do.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one that I picked the Cowboys, and I'd be okay if I'm wrong.
Yeah, I would be okay if I was wrong because I'm like 51% Cowboys, 49% Browns right now.
Right.
Because the Cowboys we've seen, like Tony comes in over here, Cowboys D is bad. Cowboys D is not very good, and that defensive line is not what it used to be. Mm-hmm. So Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb could have another big day, and they could win this game on the ground. But the Cowboys are going to do this to me every game of the year. They just look like they should win every game, but they don't.
We need that shirt made.
They need, I got to work on that.
America's team on paper.
And then Tony has the Jaguars.
Interesting.
In that first game, very interesting. Your take.
I mean, the Browns haven't played quality teams, and the way I looked at it was looking back towards the Cowboys Seahawks game, and that was a lot closer, and the Seahawks are obviously better than the Browns. So my thought process is here, if the Cowboys are playing a weaker team, Cowboys win.
That's fair, I guess. It's just man. That Seahawks defense is historically very bad. Like in the history books as one of the worst defenses, passing defenses through 3 weeks. Tony's looking for Austin Hooper to have a big game. We haven't seen jack out of Austin Hooper through the first 3 weeks, so it'd be nice to see him do something. Poor guy. He's just trying to play football. So we take the Cowboys there. Yep. The Saints at the line. It sounds like Tony's taking the Browns over there. Cowboys D's bad, looking for Austin Hooper. It sounds like Tony's taking the Browns.
Sounds like it.
The Saints at the Lions. God, I wanted to take the Lions so bad, but I have to see it become a trend before I take them in a game like this.
Right.
Granted, the Saints are in Detroit, and they're not at home, but, I mean, at home, like home field advantage really doesn't exist this season for the most part.
Yep.
So how big of a deal is it really? So I'm taking the Saints just because I haven't seen enough out of the Lions yet. Tony's taking straight up Cowboys, spread Browns. Okay, and he's taking the Saints. God, I wish I could bet. New York sucks. You taking the Saints?
I am taking the Saints.
Just straight up like obliteration.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they are playing in Detroit, but they're playing in a dome, which is similar to the same dome they play in New Orleans. There's no weather factor here for Drew Brees. It's a normal. Basically, he's playing in New Orleans, just north. So Yeah, I just don't think the Lions are on a roll. They had kind of got one from the Cardinals.
Even with 3
So-
interceptions from Kyler Murray, it was still only a 3-point game. So.
Right. So I think Drew Brees will probably be okay.
Yeah, Kyler Murray just made some bad decisions. I don't think those are decisions that Drew Brees makes. So I don't think they're going to get the turnovers that gave him that game against the Cardinals. That'll be the big part there. Detroit is a different team with Galladay, and if Thomas doesn't play, that definitely hurts the Saints. But we just saw them put 30 up against the Packers without Michael Thomas as well. Like Kamara had a very big day.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara had a good day.
I think Emmanuel Sanders caught a touchdown. I mean, there's still pieces that Drew can play with. But yeah, having Thomas obviously hurts that offense. We've seen it. It's not the same team without Michael Thomas in there. And Kenny Galladay's a monster. But we're taking the Saints. The Steelers at the Titans. COVID-19 is the winner. That has already been determined.
We'll try again later.
Yeah, we can talk about that game in detail once it comes back around. If just for fun, real quick, if they did play, who do you think the winner would have been?
Oh, I was taking the Steelers.
Okay, I would have taken the Steelers too. Derrick Henry would have had a bad day.
Oh, he sure would have.
Seahawks at Dolphins. I'm taking the Seahawks.
Yeah. I got Seahawks here too. I mean, to me, it was a no-brainer for the most part. Like, I think Russell Wilson's going to have a day against the Dolphins.
Yeah, the only thing that makes me nervous is this is the longest that the Seahawks have to travel. It's a long trip. It's a different environment. It's outside in Florida weather. And I've seen them struggle. Like when they play the Panthers in North Carolina, they struggle usually. I could see, I don't think this one is going to be the blowout people expect, but I definitely don't think the Seahawks would drop this one, especially with Russell Wilson at the helm. I don't see that happening. Tony's also taking the Steelers and the Hawks. The Chargers at the Bucks. And virtually this was the same argument, where I think the Seahawks beat the Dolphins, but it's not as close. It's closer than people expect due to the travel and the weather. Kind of the same thing with the Chargers and the Bucks, but they have a rookie quarterback traveling all the way across the country, playing in Florida weather. I kind of wanted to take the Chargers because I love that defense, but I'll take Tom Brady and the Bucks at home. Have a good night, Tony. Taking the kiddos to dance. Have fun with that. Good night, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I'm taking the Buccaneers too. I feel like if the Chargers weren't devastated as they were with some of their injuries they've had, and being a rookie QB who started out great against the Chiefs, did not look so great last week, I think the Buccaneers just probably have the veteran advantage.
Yeah, I think they turn on the game tape, and whatever the Panthers did to Justin Herbert, they'll just copy that, and I think it'll be a long day for Justin because I think they obviously have a better pass rush in Tampa Bay than they do in Carolina. So if they take advantage of that and take advantage of Justin Herbert as a rookie, yeah, that could be a long day for him. The Ravens at the Washington football team. Yeah, pretty much the same reaction to yawn. Yeah, like it's gonna be the Ravens. I mean, there's not really much of a question mark here.
Now, if Washington wins,
oh God,
then we better do something that's to save us because it's not good.
I mean, Washington has already won one game. It's not impossible.
Are they they're tied for first in the NFC East, right?
Yeah. But, Chase Young isn't playing, though. So that's a big weakness now on the left side of that line.
Yeah, it's Ravens then.
They're right. They're left.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's going to happen. But sorry, so the Ravens get that one. The Cardinals at the Panthers. I think the Cardinals redeem themselves. I think they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think they steamroll them. Kyler and DeAndre are pissed about that loss to the Lions. It's redemption time.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I think the Panthers have a rough day in front of them. I heard an interesting thing. Real quick, Mike Fink, his upset of the week is the Patriots beating the Chiefs. The Patriots will let Cam run and avoid a shootout with Mahomes. Belichick will also try to keep Mahomes off the field. It's kind of the same statement there, sentences 2 and 3. Like, you're going to run the ball a lot to try and keep Mahomes off the field for as long as possible. So that's a fair point. Yeah, we'll talk about that one leading up because I had some thoughts on that as well. But interesting. I think this was an interesting point about the Panthers. They were talking about Christian McCaffrey that got his second deal.
Mm-hmm.
And now, so when you get that much money put into your running back, you feel like you have to give him the ball. Like, Christian McCaffrey ran that offense and probably got, I don't even know what percentage, half the touches on offense, probably more.
Mm-hmm.
So if they bottle up Christian McCaffrey, it's tough to get the rest of your offense going. And that's normally when you lose the ball game.
Right.
Christian McCaffrey is out. They game plan a whole game without Christian McCaffrey, and Teddy Bridgewater gets the win when he controls the offense, not Christian McCaffrey. Boy, oh boy, is that kind of a hot take? I mean, it's a good analysis.
Yeah,
a little bit of a hot take because he's by far the best running back in the league in most opinions.
Yeah.
But he goes out, they get this kind of underdog win.
Oh, yeah, a little bit there. I mean, maybe we're going to see what Matt Rule's actually going to do with Teddy now that he doesn't have one of the highest paid running backs having to make sure he gets his touches. But, yeah, I mean, I think it could be close with the Cardinals and Panthers between the two offenses, but definitely still thinking it's the Cardinals.
Yeah, the Panthers and Teddy Bridgewater get this win. It's going to be a long week of discussions and talking about Christian McCaffrey and where maybe that was a waste of money. It'll be interesting. The Vikings at the Texans. Mm-hmm. I went back and forth on this. I'm taking the Vikings because they still had a good week last week offensively. They got a tough break there, or tough ending with the game-winning field goal.
Yep.
So I think they got their offense at least going in the right direction, and the Texans have nothing going in the right direction. So I'm taking the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, it was a toss-up a little bit for me when I was looking between the two teams. And it's kind of like what you just said, like, Vikings are kind of getting rolling on offense. They're starting to figure things out. The defense isn't quite great or up to expectation yet, but they're working on it. It's in progress.
They're trying. A for effort. But
the Texans are just kind of they're like one of those other hot messes in the NFL right now. Like, they're just they paid Deshaun Watson and the team fell apart.
Yeah, I feel like it's just so hard that you lose one player in DeAndre Hopkins and this happens. It's also it's not terribly surprising because if Deshaun Watson was in trouble, he had DeAndre Hopkins to go to. Like, if he's under pressure, let me just toss it up and DeAndre makes a great catch. He doesn't have that anymore.
No,
he doesn't. That's over 100 targets and catches that are gone now.
Yeah,
and there's no replacement for it. I'm sorry, Will Fuller, Randall Cobb, they're not replacements for DeAndre Hopkins. And then you have a not quite as dinosaur as Frank Gore, like 31, 32-year-old David Johnson is your running back. It's not good. It's not good. So, yeah, Vikings take that one. Bills at the Raiders, our first 4 p.m. game. Bills going to, what do they call it? The Al. What was the name of
the Big Al?
The Big Al. Going to the Big Al. Yeah, I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah.
I mean, the Raiders did not look good last week. I don't know if that's because they're on the road or that was the Bill Belichick effect. But I'm not buying the Raiders as of right now. I'm still holding because we had that conversation 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I'm holding on the Raiders right now, but I've already bought the Bills. 100% in on the Bills right now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm taking the Bills too, and the only worry part I think I had about the Bills, if this was 2 weeks ago or even last Thursday, if I was picking this game, I would have been worried about Darren Waller and Josh Jacobs. Patriots kind of figured him out a little bit, and I would have been worried about Tyler Higbee for the Rams last week, and he didn't have that big of a game. So, like, the Bills kind of figured it out because they got their defensive pieces back. So, I think the Bills can kind of keep the Raiders in check.
Yeah,
so,
I think, like, you have to have Edmonds and Milano, which
Right.
you have back now, and that easily can take care of Waller because, like you just said, it took care of Higbee for the most part. I would still worry about Josh Jacobs having a big day, but I don't think Josh Jacobs alone can win the Raiders the day.
Right.
I mean, he might have a big game. It might keep them in it, but I think the Bills they have a more complete offense.
Yeah.
And we'll
sure
score more points.
Man, they do. Yeah.
This is a thing that's happening. The Giants at the Rams.
Unfortunately.
I'm taking the Rams. Just in case nobody knew.
I'm not taking the Giants. I will take the Rams this time.
Oh, you almost got me there. Okay. The Patriots at the Chiefs. Yeah. This was the upset for Mike Fink. He says he has the Patriots beating the Chiefs in an upset. This is the one that I had a flip-flop on. I initially took the Patriots because, I think they can run the ball well. They have Cam. Belichick is just good. Like, he's good against younger quarterbacks usually.
Yeah.
He got his win against Patrick Mahomes already. Patrick Mahomes is now in his third season. This is not your rookie Patrick Mahomes anymore. I think with all those pieces on defense that are missing for the Patriots, this could get uglier than people expect. And it's in Kansas City. So this could be, I think it's a lower scoring game because if they do run the ball a lot with the Patriots and they keep Patrick off the field, okay, sure. It'll be one of those normal, like 30 to 23 games.
Yeah.
If that. But yeah, I'll still take the Chiefs.
But this is something similar to we talked about earlier with the Ravens Chiefs game with Lamar Jackson, that the Chiefs have a pass rush and they stopped Lamar from running the ball so much. Why do we think Cam Newton and the Patriots offense are going to be able to run the ball efficiently?
I think they can design quarterback runs better, and Bill Belichick knows how to handle pass rush.
All right.
I think Cam Newton's designed runs, they just look better. They know how to block better. They know how, like, the offensive line for the Patriots knows how to pull. They know how to pull their tackles and make good blocks and open up holes. They just know how to do that better. And if there is a pass rush, they have Sony Michel, they have Rex Burkhead. I don't know if James White is going to be back this week yet after his family ordeal. He's dealing with his father died. But they just know how to deal with pass rush better. And obviously Lamar Jackson and the Ravens had no answer. Spagnuolo brought pressure, and the Ravens is like the first time they've seen a blitz. Bill Belichick is not going to get frazzled by a blitz.
Right.
So I don't think they're going to have to worry about that as much. Just my take.
All right. I mean, I don't think that's a blowout by the Chiefs by any means, but I think it's still the Chiefs taking the win here. I think they still keep. I think they're going to get. I think they're going to get a lead, and I think the Patriots are going to try and get close, and the Chiefs will say nope.
Yeah, kind of like the same what they did with the Ravens. It's like the Ravens scored like a touchdown and a field goal, and they're like, "All right, it's a one score game or like a 10-point game now," and then like, "Oh yeah, that's over." Chiefs rattled off 2 quick touchdowns. Okay, it's over.
Yep.
The Eagles are playing the 49ers. I'm taking the 49ers.
Yep. Nick Mullins.
Nick Mullins.
Over Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the bench. And Nick Mullins, he is, let's see here. Our good friend Danny Boy gave us the stat of the day. He sent us a picture. And it was Nick Mullins through his first 11 career games has the third most passing yards in his career through his first 11 games.
Nice.
I don't know who the two people in front of him were. I'm not looking at the picture right now. I just know he was number 3.
Yep.
Nick Mullins is not a bad quarterback, folks. And I know no one's ever heard of him, but as a Seahawks fan, I've faced him a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a guy he's not just your normal backup. It's a good quarterback.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, the Falcons at the Packers. The Packers are just running people over right now. I don't know how you stop the Packers right now. I don't know what you do. I feel like the only way to beat the Packers is outscore them somehow. Because I don't think any defense in the league is going to be able to stop Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones right now. That's just my take.
Not.
They just look like a juggernaut on offense.
Yeah. Does Seattle play them this year?
It's a good question. I don't believe so.
Because I'm so glad the Bills don't.
Yeah. Because I don't think we don't play the Bears. We're not playing that division this year, I don't think.
Okay. So it was just a one-off division for the Cardinals then. It was like the cross flex for the one other NFC division that they had to round out.
Right, because those scheduling things are just kind of weird.
I don't.
Yeah, think
you guys
have
have AFC East, but I don't know if you have what NFC division you have.
Vikings, Cardinals, 49ers, Bills, Rams, Cardinals, Eagles, Giants, Jets, Washington, Rams, 49ers. Yeah, we don't have to worry about it.
Oh, yeah, you're NFC East this year.
Yep. Yeah, big NFC East year and AFC East. So a lot of traveling to the East Coast for the Seahawks this season. It's nasty.
Yeah.
We will to redeem himself. We will to redeem himself. Wedge house to... What are you trying to say? Wentz will redeem himself this week. Wentz will redeem himself this week. I don't think so. I know they don't have two of their big pass rushers for the 49ers still, but they still have all of their linebackers. They still have Fred Warner. I just as our parting gift to both my mother and anyone else listening to this show, it's time to accept the Eagles for what they are. And that is a team that is in full rebuild mode.
Yeah.
I know people don't want to hear that. I know Eagles fans don't want to hear it. And it's a passionate fan base, and they just got done winning the Super Bowl. This team is in rebuild mode. And that it's because the Seahawks are going to get there at some point. Russell Wilson's going to leave, and this team's going to fall apart. And I realize at some point my Seahawks will be going through a rebuild mode. It just happens.
Yeah.
The Eagles won their Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Normally when a team wins a Super Bowl, with the exception of the Patriots, everything falls apart and you have to rebuild. That's just what happens.
Yeah.
And the Eagles are dear to my heart because I used to be an Eagles fan when I was a kid. You know, I grew up around the Eagles. It's tough. But that's just where they are right now. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah. It really, yeah.
Doug Peterson will be the next head coach of the New York Jets. You heard it here, folks. You heard it here first.
Oh, he wouldn't be changing colors too much.
No, not really. Oh, the Jets are wearing all black tonight, so we'll let everybody go enjoy this beautiful Thursday night football game that I know everyone will be tuning into. I hope the Broncos are wearing their all orange, and we got the all black for the Jets. Oh, it's just
Halloween game.
Halloween game, baby. That is good. We are in spooky season, October 1st. It's officially spooky season. All right. Give it to him, Durf. What's that advice you got for him?
Protect your nuts.